There had been a movement for quite some time toward liberalization of laws against sex work. If we look even at movies of popular culture in the 80s and 90s, you'll see that there's an increasing trend of movies and television shows portraying sex workers in a fairly positive light. Movies like Pretty Woman, Milk Money, Risky Business, many, many movies like this. I believe what was going on is that the prohibitionists were beginning to see their grip on the narrative slipping. What we're seeing in other countries is liberalization of sex work laws. So, for example, in 1995, New South Wales decriminalizes prostitution. 2000, you start seeing the Netherlands liberalize. Germany in 2002, decriminalization of sex work in New Zealand, 2003. Lawrence versus Texas, which is not sex work related, which is certainly sexual minority related, 2003. And so I believe what was happening is that all these events panicked the anti-sex people. They wanted to get back control. This is when we see the sex trafficking narrative all of a sudden begin to explode. In 2000, the Trafficking Victims Protection Act. In 2003, we start seeing a big ramp up in the narrative in the media.
This morning, we're going to talk about international sex trafficking.
It was this story of being trafficked into prostitution that took the world by storm. Her autobiography became an international bestseller.
Governments that tolerate this trade are tolerating a form of slavery.
Tonight, a Dateline hidden camera investigation. Children for sale.
My name is Chong Kim, and I'm a survivor of sex trafficking. What I'm about to share with you may be hard to believe, but it's true.
How bad is the problem?
The problem is enormous and growing.
In 2004, it exploded in the New York Times. And so by the middle of 2004, it was a perfect soil for anyone wanting to come along and lay some sort of nefarious motives on any kind of aspect of the sex industry.
I believe in coincidences. Coincidences happen every day. But I don't trust coincidences.
Well, we've reached November. We're getting toward the end of the year. It is election week. And hopefully you guys got out and voted. Very important. Get out there. It is, especially in, the entire United States, but also especially in New York, because there are some propositions in New York we should be voting no for. That's 1 through 6. 1 is taking away the rights from parents away from their kids when it comes to giving them transgender drugs to that situation. It's disguised as an abortion bill. Also, the 2 through 6 happens to be to give more power to Mayor Eric Adams. That basically takes away from the councils, New York City councils, that basically he's able to veto a lot more from them, which could be a good thing and bad thing. I think both. It's a little bit of both. But today we are going to move away from this, just a little bit, but it's still going to be part of the subject matter of elections this week. One of the major things that we discuss here is about age verification, basically the attack on the porn industry, the manga industry, the anime industry, and whatever industry you want to throw in there. Because stuff like this has been happening since the 1990s. Yes, you can go back and look at all these Senate subcommittee hearings on video game violence and music and basically television. And it's the same rhetoric they keep bringing up. And it's a lot of lies. And they tend to lie a lot. And they bring out things that just basically is not factual. They'll bring up, they'll say, well, it's fact because they did some research on that, and the research is not factual. You know, it's debunked by other research groups, independent ones that basically have no political aspirations to the situation, and tell you, no, this is the way it is. This is the truth to that point. And you have those who are looking to censor the internet. Yes, that's right. There are those out there who want to censor the internet, and we've discussed this many a time. Like I said, whether it's age verification, whether it's CASA, whether it's online safety bills, and they try to hide it as we're trying to save women and children. We're trying to protect, and I've said this many times, protect the children.
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
But it's a lie. It's a bald-faced lie. Because if they wanted to save children, they would be helping the thousands upon thousands of children who are missing in the United States that have come across that Mexican border, that are being used as slave labor, sex trafficking, and many other things that have been going on for quite some time now.
Have you read that children are scrubbing dishes? They are operating heavy machinery. They are delivering meals. They are harvesting coffee. They are working construction. They are working as housekeepers. They are working overnight shifts at plants where they are not paid. They are not going to school. They are not cared for. They are not giving meals. Almost all of it illegally. Are you aware of that? That's a yes or no.
Yes.
Do the Know Your Rights presentation help them in those situations?
Senator ORR.
That's a yes or no, I think. Do you really think that you're helping these children by releasing them to labor traffickers and, yes, sex traffickers? 85,000 children whom you have no contact with, and your answer is we gave them a presentation before we turned them over to these people who are exploiting them on a scale not seen in this country for 100 years, a century.
It's that basically it's always, deflect away from the truth and throw bald-faced lies. And in this case, and we're going to switch to Scotland, and the mistake they're about to make, and they've made many mistakes because of what's going on in the United Kingdom. Scotland pushes partnership with anti-porn activists who think sex workers are possessed by the devil. See, now we're getting the point where they start to really, truly come out and basically throw out what they believe. And it ain't only about sex workers, as you will get into this particular article. And this is from XBiz. Hat tip to Gustavo Turner, as usual. A leading sex worker advocacy group in the United Kingdom reports that the Scottish government has instructed local authorities to partner with a controversial English charity, Azalea, led by a religious anti-porn activist who has stated that sex workers are possessed by demons. National Ugly Mugs, a national sex worker safety charity in the United Kingdom, received tips from individuals in local councils in Scotland that the ruling Scottish National Party has recommended those councils work with Christian charity Azalea, founded and run by a woman named Ruth Robb from the English town of Luton. NUM has received a document showing that Robb in the past recommended carrying out exorcisms on sex workers who are possessed by demons. The North Edinburgh Press newspaper reported. Robb also believes yoga, yes, that's right, yoga, is an occult practice.
And just look how happy he is.
and that safe sex leads to a lesbian lifestyle. She told her local newspaper that watching pornography is an unhealthy habit similar to buying sex. So is that the same if I go out and watch horror movies? Does that mean I'm, just a psychopath? If I go out and watch action films, am I some crazed nut with a gun? This is the things that basically they come out with these stupid reasoning and beliefs that they try to push on the general public. And some of these government officials do believe into this. They get drawn into these things. Azalea was drafted by the Scottish government, part of an initiative by Victims and Community Safe Minister Siobhan Brown, a Nordic model proponent who created a network of regional commercial sexual exploitation hubs in February. According to Brown, this network will support women to safely exit from prostitution and challenge men's demand for prostitution. What about the men? Let me put this into perspective. They look at the women, especially, but there are men in prostitution as well. What about them? No, they don't give a shit. See, this is the thought that they have. They think all prostitutes are women, and don't go after don't go after the sex trafficking trade where there's men and there's even children. They don't do this because they don't care. They don't care. They just want power. They want control. That's what they want. They'll allow the prostitution, but under their rules. And it's not legalization. It'll maintain to be illegal. Let's continue on. In June, the government officials made presentations throughout Scotland promoting collaborations with Azalea as part of an approach to persuade men not to purchase sex services, and praising the group initiatives as similar to approaches within the Nordic model. The Nordic model technically decriminalizes this selling of sexual services, but ramps up penalties and enforcement for third parties profiting off sex workers and for buyers of sex services. It is a goal to end sex work in all forms and rescue sex workers whom it categorizes as an invariable exploited. Who are you talking about? Are you talking about the legitimate business? The women that are out there legitimately that don't have pimps, that basically they have cut out the pimp and doing their own business themselves? Are you talking about them? Because, that's the ones you're going after. You're not going after the pimps. You're not going after the sex trade as far as sex trafficking. You're not going after them. No, not at all. Because there would have been a whole line of politicians and celebrities in jail right now. Okay? You're not doing this. This is control of the people. I myself, okay, I understand, people says, they don't want prostitution. Legalize it. Yeah, straight up. If you could fix the situation, eliminate this trafficking, take out the ones that are responsible for the illegality of this situation, and propose a model similar to what Reno does that basically would legalize it. And there are other countries like Spain. Spain's had it legal for quite some time, and they want to send the men and women back to the pimps. They want to remove the legality of prostitution in Spain.
My bitch better have my money. Through rain, sleet, or snow. That was a Shakespeare. My hoe better have my money.
But it's going to send the girls right back to basically being beaten, enslaved, and all that. They don't think before they act. That's what the situation is. They don't have all the information they needed, or they don't care for it. Let's read on. NUM has also reviewed documents released under the UK Freedoms of Information Act, showing that Glasgow City Council has refused to take part in Brown's scheme, citing dangerous plans to involve Azalea and complaining that the ministers have given no detail or structure in relation to governance, accountability, outcomes, milestones, monitoring, evaluation, funding, or timescales for it, the North Edinburgh Press reported. Rob has written guidebooks for Christian organizations doing sex work outreach, according to Rob and co-writer Marian Carson. Most prostitutes have had some exposure to the occult, and her guidelines offer a checklist to determine if a sex worker is undergoing demonic possessions. Supposed symptoms including flailing limbs or a sudden change of voice. See, this is the insanity that goes on to the situation. See, right now, okay, let's take it to this perspective. And you're going to say, well, the police, the NYPD and the sheriffs and the state troopers have taken care of it. Roosevelt Avenue, guess what? When the police leave, all that, the media and all that, they all disappear in the next 60 days. Guess what's going to happen? All those prostitutes are coming back. The sex traffickers are going to come back. They're ready to come back. They've only moved it to another part of the neighborhood. Yeah, temporary. They've gone a little underground, temporary, but they'll be back. They'll be back in full force. The illegal vendors are back, not in a large abundance, but they're already back on Roosevelt Avenue. But see, the thing is that these people, they'll go after them. They'll go after the sex trade, but they'll do nothing about it. See, like here on Roosevelt Avenue, is they won't arrest these girls, which we know they're from other countries. Because they're from other countries, they won't do it. That's straight on. And they say, well, they need help. Yeah, they do need help. They need proper help. I guarantee you there is a good chunk of those girls on the street that were taken from their families. They were kidnapped and brought here under sex trafficking situations to enslave them. And when you ask them, do you want to stay here? Most of them will tell you, no, I want to go home. I don't live here. But they won't tell you that straight out. They won't tell you these things. You'll say, well, why do you know? Because it has happened. Do you understand? Is that they didn't just jump up and says, well, I'm going to go to America and just offer my body for sex. No. No, nobody would want to do that unless you decide to do that. And you remember, there is a difference. If you're trying to cross the border and the guy says, well, it's $2,000, I'll get you across the border. And I say, oh, okay, but I don't have it right now. Well, you're going to have to sell your body on there. Do you think anybody would want to do that? No, they don't. And the thing about it is, it ain't $2,000 only. They're going to keep you. They're going to continue. And this is not only Mexican women, Central America, South America. This is also Africa. This is China and many other countries that are brought here. You've seen many movies about this. You've seen many TV series about this. Are they fictional to the individual story? Yes. But as far as the nature of what is happening, no. Human trafficking has been going on, oh God, forever. And still continuing. They're not going to put their foot down. What they're doing is affecting those that are not being trafficked, that don't have the situations, that want to legalize it. They want to work for themselves. There are strippers that, they go to college, they're working their way through college, and then they leave the stripping to basically go on to pursue what job they want. They want to make fast cash, and this is the fastest way to do it. But see, the difference is with those trafficked, they don't get to keep that money. They don't. That's the thing. These groups are not going to tell you. They're just going to be like, oh, sex workers, prostitutes, pornography, they're all wrong onto the situation. And then you might ask yourself, well, what about, they're talking about Project 25 and Trump. I said, well, first thing, Trump has nothing to do with Project 25. But the thing about it is that they're also misbegotten to the situation. And this is also, Gustav put this out too, Project 2025 leader claims big tech companies deliberately fuel pornographic addiction among men. I'm going to read a little bit, not the whole article, but I'm going to read just the basics to this. Heritage Foundation President Project 2025 leader Kevin Roberts published Wednesday the text of a speech which he persists with his past claim that predatory big tech corporations are deliberately fueling pornographic addiction among young men. First thing out, what research have you done into this? That's the big question. Roberts is one of the architects of Project 2025, which prominently includes a call to criminalize all porn. He assures leadership of Project 25 in July after his first director, Paul Dance, departed following the mounting attention to the initiative's most extreme proposals and Donald Trump's questionable disavowalment of the initiative. Trump is totally far away from this. You have to understand, there's always going to be groups like this on both sides of the aisle. You got the Heritage Foundation on one, you got Act Blue on the other side, and BLM. You know, we could go down the line of these foundations that sit there and they say, well, we got the president's ear, the future president's ear, the future politician's ear. You know, but most of these proposals that they throw out at you is just basically not something really that politicians are going to look to push on there. They don't want to be associated with some of these radical groups. Until that controversy, Roberts and other Heritage Foundation figures repeatedly claimed that the Project 25 initiative included a plan to staff the next presidential administration, which is a lie, in the event of a Trump victory. No. Here's the one thing about this, and I'm going to tell you straight out. Trump's biggest mistake the first time around is to trusting the people that he brought in. These are people that basically said, oh yeah, I'll help you, I'll do that. And you might say to yourself, well, they're doing it now. No, there's a big difference now than it was then. The ones that he had chosen were basically chosen by those in the Republican Party. What he's choosing now is people that basically have similar ideas. Some he agrees and some he disagrees, but he's able to work with them. The ones he brought in before, he couldn't work with. And that's what this situation is with Project 2025. He wouldn't be able to trust these people. No way. No freaking way. You know, we can go. I would suggest go read the rest of this article. It is just a laughing stock. Because, you know, they said, well, the internet fuels it for the situation. Okay. If you're saying that pornography doesn't, so that means violence is fueled by the internet. Horror is fueled by the internet. You know, that basically people are murdering people to that situation horribly. And, you know, you can blame that on horror films. Music caused self-deletion. This is the stupidity. And there has been debunked for many years now. I keep saying this. I've said this multiple times. Dee Snider, Twisted Sister, Senate subcommittee hearing. Tipo Gore was telling people, they said, oh yeah, they're into bondage and discipline and all this, the situation on that. This particular song is that. No, that's not what the song meant. The one particular song that they were talking about this in the Senate subcommittee hearing, he was talking about being on an operating table, going to undergo surgery. Because one of his band members was doing that and was afraid to do the surgery. Oh, but you had this T-shirt with this girl all tied up in bondage. Never existed. Never existed. Never made by Twisted Sister, the companies that handle their T-shirts, and Dee Snider. They've never. And Dee Snider's a Christian. Okay? He doesn't believe in that. And then many other, they brought many people, to that Senate subcommittee hearing. And what they got out of it was, no, it's not true what the politicians are saying. Don't forget the lawsuit against one heavy metal rock band, who basically two young men self-deleted themselves, and they said it was because of their music. One guy came out, he said he was an expert, and he says, listen to the song. And they said, do it. No. He was hearing things that didn't exist in the song. You know that joke. You know that joke that if you remember Little Nicky, when they said when they put the record album on for Ozzy Osbourne, and he said, "Hey, what's Ozzy saying?" And he says, "No. There's nothing. Ozzy ain't saying anything there." And he pulled out Chicago. I mean, because that's I'm not saying Chicago is demonic or anything like that, but the thing about it is, it's the stupidity that these people put these things out and they said, "Oh yeah, kids are becoming violent because of the video games." No, there is no proof of that. Hand and eye coordination improvement? Oh hell yeah! Video games. One thing about video games, kids are with the triggers, and basically they're looking at shooting stuff or targeting stuff on there. That's helped their eye coordination, their hand coordination. That report was out that, hand-eye coordinations were improving in kids. But now they're trying to push that away and make games that, they're trying to... There are those activists who have snuck into the video game industry and trying to destroy the industry from within. I said that. Yeah, Sweet Baby Inc., all that. They're trying to destroy. They want to destroy the video game industry because they don't like it. They don't like the representation. These are the jocks that, they want to basically put down the nerds. Nerds! Yeah, that's right. I've said it. And, getting back to pornography, prostitution, all that, they don't have a grasp of the understanding. I'm a Catholic. I'm a person who turned the other cheek. If someone wants to be a prostitute and they don't have a pimp, that they're their own boss, they try to stay within the law, the legalities and stuff like that, and they don't go crazy to the situation, and they won't put food on the table, fine, all that. If they, they're putting themselves through school and stuff like that, and they want to get out of it, and they can, yeah, I'll do it. But the thing is that if they're being held captive, that's what you should be going after. Disregard those that are that technically they're legitimized. They're not dealing with being trapped in the sex industry. They can walk away from it. They can. This is the situation. They don't want to talk about that. They want to keep people under the heel of their boots. And this is how they're doing it. So comment below. Let me know your thoughts about this. Are you for? Are you against prostitution? Do you believe that this group is right, wrong, that they're disgusting to do this? I mean, they hate yoga. I mean, come on. I don't like yoga, but I'm not going to go out there and say that it's basically the occult. Like I said, this is the mental instability these people have. So be sure to share this video, and that little subscribe button, hit that right now. Yeah, that's right. Hit that right now. It moves us up in the algorithm. Right now, we're having a real tough time because it is an election week. And of course, YouTube is playing their games as usual on there. But if you're watching this on Rumble, you have no problem seeing this on Rumble. So sign up there too. I tell you, sign up across the board on all of our social media platforms. Because you never know. Hey, listen, they might kick me off of YouTube. You had a time, a New York Times report, this past week that they're slamming on YouTubers, and that they said, "Oh, YouTube's doing nothing about it." Oh, yeah, right. See, they don't have all the information. So until next time, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for those who clicked on this video. I know there are thousands and thousands of videos on all these social media platforms you could have chose, but you chose mine. We really do appreciate that. So until next time, thank you for tuning in, and be sure to get out and vote.